Hello everybody, welcome back. So it's been a while since I've made a video about XRP, and it's because basically if I've got nothing to say about it, then there really isn't anything to say. Do you know what I mean? I know a lot of people make videos on XRP on a daily basis, just to try and accumulate views, because they always get the views. But if I'm just repeating myself, I mean, there's no point in talking about it. However, today there's definitely something that's happened that hasn't happened well since ever on this Binance chart anyway, and it's a good thing. It's a very good thing, in fact. So for those who follow me, they know that I like to use the Ichimoku cloud as a very reliable indicator, short terms and especially long terms, to show change of direction and a movement into a more bullish format. So we've used this on Tether many times. Even managed to get right in there just before here. We got an Ichi Cloud conversion baseline, perfect signature back down here, and then it launched literally within a week afterwards. Now this we're talking about a weekly chart here. So because it's weekly, it means that these things, technically can take a long time to play out, because we're looking at them on a weekly basis. But just going on what's happened recently, since we were getting these signals with XRP, they generally haven't taken that long to play out at all. Now, this isn't your average Ichimoku cloud signature that we're going to look at today. Now, we're looking at it on Bitcoin pairings, so against Satoshi pairings, right? As you can see, just like most charts, it's still technically in a downtrend. We're getting lower lows and lower highs and this, that and the other. It's very much reminiscent of pretty much any altcoin looks like this on the long-term time frame. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that something has happened today. I don't know if you can see it already. That hasn't happened ever, which is a candle body close above the cloud, right? So there's a few ways you can use the Ichimoku cloud. The simplest way is waiting for a cross above the cloud with the Chiku span, which is this above the price action. Another way to use it would be to wait for a candle body close above the cloud, and then for the Chiku span to be above the cloud itself, and wait for this area of the cloud to go green. It would generally signify that you're looking for another pump. It's not looking for a trend as strong as your standard conversion baseline cross, but it is still looking like it's a very good signature. Now, we are at the early days of this, right? So getting very excited. It's only Monday. We had this candle body close literally 9 hours ago. So looking at it, I was like, wow, that's a big deal, because when we're thinking about things in terms of Tether, it's easy to chart those things, but when you think about them in terms of Bitcoin pairings, they can often give misleading or misguided signals. But in this case, I really do think that something is likely to take place for XRP at this current level. So because the signature is not complete yet, it's the stage 1 of 3 stages. So stage 1 here, looking for stage 2 being a green part of the cloud take place, and stage 3 being the Chiku span being above the cloud as well. Then that generally would be primed for a pump. So if we're looking for an entry point, obviously this is not likely to be the best entry point. We're on the outer rim of the Bollinger Band here on the weekly. Would suggest that we generally would likely come back inside the Bollinger Band to test at least a moving average, perhaps maybe even the 10 exponential, which is all the way down at just basically 2,000 sats, which would suggest that if we did do that, we would come back to the tune of about 26%. That's if it happened this week. You've got to bear in mind that doesn't necessarily have to happen. This is moving up every week, and every week that goes by, it'll probably go up at least 150, maybe 200 sats. It's very steep at the moment. XRP has had significant rallies and runs, and it could already be primed for another run just on the back of this one component of a 3-stage signal. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Things are looking very good for XRP as far as the Satoshi pairings. We're coming out of a new phase. And again, we were talking about the accumulation phase, the giant accumulation phase being the one that's, well, we've got this white line here, but this is the giant accumulation phase all the way beneath the 86 cent zone. Between 88 and 86 cents, that's the top of the accumulation. It's also the blood cellar area from the Fibonacci retracement from the all-time high to the all-time low. It also corresponded to these two candle body tops over here. So, interestingly enough, we launched from there really well, and then when we did come back down, we had a savage move back down, pretty much to tick on that area. So it's no big surprise to me that this area gets tagged. We saw it getting tagged here. We had that massive launch when it was retested as support, all the way back down to test it again and then launched. It does appear to be a very reliable chart when it comes to supports, resistances, signals, and basically any indicator that you want to apply to it. It's very reliable, I have to say. The only problem I have with XRP is trading it on the short-term time frames. I often find that quite hard, but the long-term time frames seem to be always pretty reliable, very well respected when it comes to all these things that we like to apply to charts. I'd actually argue, if you're looking to learn trading, especially the style that I use, conversion baseline, itchy clouds, moving averages, supports, resistances, all that jazz, that this is a really good chart to apply it to, because you can really see how it does respect it on every time frame from the 4-hourly, I'd say. Anyway, so without boring you to death anymore, and like I say, I'm not doing this to get views, I'm doing it because I've spotted something, a change of behaviour, something very interesting that could pan out to be extremely aggressive in the long term. I thought I'd bring it to your attention. For those who are holding on to XRP, this is just one nice little piece of hopium for you, that this rally isn't just going to burn out, and it should continue throughout the rest of the year. And those all-time highs that we spoke about, before these pumps began, between $4 to $8 in XRP, they almost certainly feel like they're in the bag. Obviously, that would be my famous last words to use the word certainly, but it does look very promising at the moment. And I actually did extend those price targets, because when I made that original video about the market cycle, we were still in the consolidation. We may have been in the accumulation, but I did anticipate these kind of runs taking place with XRP, and it's good to see that we're getting them. But to give a price target is always going to be very difficult. So I think the first one I gave was about $4.20. The other was about $6.80. So obviously a wick could go up above there to $8, but there was another price target which was significantly higher than that. And at this stage you can't really rule anything out. I know people think it's crazy to expect XRP to be a really high valued token, because there's so many of them and it's largely centralized and all these other things that people don't like about cryptocurrency. At the end of the day, that's not what creates the wicks and the candle bodies. It's really not about the circulating supply and if it's centralized or not. It really is to do with about if somebody is willing to buy some XRP for more than the asking value at the time, that creates a candle. That creates a green candle. Then the inverse happens if people want to sell it. They're happy to sell it for just less than it's going for. That creates a red candle. And it's that is what makes a chart move. So. We don't. Doji is a really good example of how ridiculous a chart can be. If people want to buy for more than the asking price, it goes up. There is an unlimited supply of Doji. Technically it has no even use case whatsoever, but it still went up. And it's been what? Obviously not the biggest performer, but it's been one of the biggest performers so far this year. So sometimes you have to stand back from what you think it takes to create candles, and just recognize what it actually is that is creating candles, and it's basically about supply and demand. If people are buying more, then spending on it more than the asking price, it goes up, and similar would go down if the inverse happens. So I'm not talking about moons, I'm not talking about $500 XRPs, I'm talking about a very nice beginning of a change of behavior on the Satoshi pairings, which lends itself to much larger moves on on tether pairing. And if we're really looking to chart this out, we're thinking about a move to at least the next candle body high. That's a 23% move. That's no big deal. We could be talking about 33. There's many areas of significance, but we are talking about the possibility of making nice big steps on the Satoshi pairing over the coming months. So I'd say between now and the next 3 months, we could be looking at a new all-time high for XRP. Again, we have to. There's a leap of faith there that this signal will continue to make 3 stages of confirmation. But it is the very start of the change of behaviour, and for people like me that bought back down in in the low 20s and just continue to hold it, I like to see things like this because I don't need 3 stages of confirmation to recognize that I'm already in profit. Nor do most people who hold XRP. They've bought it and they're holding it, and so for those people, this is a good thing. For people who are looking for an entry point, this isn't particularly the video for you, because we are at technically at an area where we could come back down. Like we've already established, maybe 20% or more. But long term, between now and the next 3 months, does very much look like we're going to have a nice continuation. 50% on Satoshi pairing could easily correspond to 60, 70, 80. We don't know what the price of Bitcoin will be at the time, but that will definitely transfer over to the value of it against the dollar or tether by a large amount. So let's just have a little think of a most conservative guess. If Bitcoin remained at its current value and we pumped between now and the next 3 months to 50%, we are talking about roughly about $2.40, which is also another Fib retracement area from what I remember. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there, but thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Subscribe to the channel. I've got a Patreon channel as well if you want to have access to live streams and some content about teaching you how to use these indicators correctly. And that's about it really. Have a nice day. Take it easy.